From cool references to selling food items and hats. Yeah, that's all I got for that part. You try making hats exciting. Anyway, hello, Magi here, and welcome to another episode of Interesting Touhou Facts. The series where I talk about facts from Touhou that I find either fun, unusual, or simply interesting. So without further ado, let's begin the Interesting Touhou Facts number 70. Number 5. So if you've paid attention to the entire cast attire, then you'll know there's a common theme around them. A good portion of them will be wearing some sort of headgear or accessories. If not, they'll have some animal-like characteristics on top of them instead, like ears. Very few have absolutely nothing on their head. That shit is rarer than a donation at Rainbow Shrine. The thing is that this hat requirement, if you will, is not something only Ginsokyo is affected by. So in Walden Horn Hermit chapter 29, we see that it features Sumuriko. The thing is though that it's summer at the time that she's taking classes. From a panel, we see that she brought her hat with her, even though it's not something you're supposed to wear. I mean, could you imagine wearing Sumuriko's hat in class? That would be distracting if anything. Sumuriko isn't the only outside world person to be sporting a headgear. There are two other noteworthy people to mention, Renko and Maribel. So it looks like either in Ginsokyo or the outside world, you'll be destined to wear some sort of headgear. Hope you're ready for that. Number 4. When it comes to Suika, you may have noticed that she has some chains on her, and attached to those chains are a yellow sphere, red tetrahedron, and a blue hexahedron. Well, if I said those correctly, then I'll be damn impressed. You may ask why they're there and if they have any meaning to them, as it seemed out of nowhere to me the first time. Apparently they have a deeper meaning to them. Who would have thought? Anyway, the three symbols are related to Ginbon Sengai's picture: circle, triangle, square, or called 3 dimensions and somatic attunement. The latter one's one hell of a title. Let me show you the picture so you can get an idea of it. It's just as the name stated: circle, triangle, and square. Sometimes simplistic is the best option when it comes to titles. This picture is so esoteric that there are several interpretations on it, but the significance of the 3 diagram would be mentioned by Renosuke in chapter 22 of Curiosity. Let me read you what Renosuke said. For example, the Milky Way is called the Sake Way, and there the sake only flows to Earth. Close to that, the extremely bright Orion's belt is called by yokai the Ibiki Doji constellation and indicates the Ibiki Doji's 3 powers of harmony, finite, and infinite. Shit, that's quite something considering the picture was just a square, triangle, and bloody circle. Number 3. So when it comes to festivals, mainly in the Touhou series, a common theme is that they are usually held in the Hakuri Shrine. Another thing about them is that many stalls are set up in the hopes for business, aka donations. Now, stalls aren't nothing special except for this one in particular. In Walden Horn Hermit chapter 21, a festival is happening for Setsubon with a twist for cooking bean stuff. At the event, we see a stand that involved our favorite ice fairy. Now, it's not wrong for Chiruno to do it, as I think it's pretty cool. My question is, what does Chiruno need money for? In case you didn't know, it's mentioned that fairies don't need food to survive and live within nature. That doesn't mean they can't eat food, however, as the 3 fairies of light have eaten many times in their manga series. And if you look at Strange Bright Nature Deity, extra chapter involving the Great Fairy War, you'll see Chiruno's home, which is an igloo. How fitting. Anyway, when you see inside the place, there's not much in there aside from the usual frozen frogs. So it just begs me to wonder, what could Chiruno be using the money for, as I got no clue. Number 2. If you've been watching the series, then you know that Zune is no stranger when it comes to references, as there's a lot of them, that's for sure. So another reference wouldn't be shocking. So Kozuzu Motori is likely a reference to a person named Norenaga Motori, a prominent 18th century Japanese scholar in Kokugaku, which is ancient Japanese literature study. His greatest achievement was deciphering the Koji key. The Koji key, translated to records of ancient matters, is an important sourcebook for ceremonies, customs, divination, and magical practices of ancient Japan. Thank you, Google. Anyway, Norinaga was also known to love old bells very much, which is called kozuzu in Japanese, although with a different spelling compared to kozuzu in Gensokyo. I wonder how much easier it would have been for Norinaga if he had kozuzu around to assist him in translating those. The ability to decipher books does have its advantages. Number 1. Let's switch back to another academic-like person, Aq. Now, out of all the abilities we've discussed so far, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested in her ability. Her ability is not forgetting things seen once. I gotta say, it would certainly have come in handy back when I was in school. Hell, even with making videos, not forgetting shit would be awesome for that. Aq has got the ability to not forget things seen once that her ancestor Hidia no Ari possessed, and even upon repeated reincarnation, this ability is carried over generations of the child of Mir. Also, although it's more of a secret art than an ability, she also possesses a means of reincarnation. Aq states in a footnote to the Bunbun newspaper article of her birth that upon reincarnation, the only memories left from the past generations are those related to the Gensokyo Chronicle, and she states in her monologue that the memories from ancient times are very unclear. She does, however, retain even some memories of her ancestor Ari, who was the very first to have the power of the Magi, the power to remember anything you've seen, who came before Aichi did. That's gotta be a lot of memories, considering she has 9 generations of those related to the Chronicle. It seems that her means of reincarnation requires several years of preparation in advance of her death, which includes making deals with the Yama to perform work in the afterlife. In addition, the children of Mir have short lifespans and seldom live past beyond the age of 30. Well, fuck. Even in death, you can't escape paperwork. As a result, she doesn't get to spend much of her life as an ordinary human. However, since she has recently been able to befriend yokai that live long enough to meet her in multiple lives, this doesn't seem to cause her much distress anymore. Something I find kind of weird given what she said in Forbidden, but I won't say much about that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Which facts were your favorite? Are you curious about what Chiruno spends her money on? Do you think kozuzu would have been an excellent helper when it came to translating? Or would you have been down to have Aq's power, or at the very least try it out? If you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and subscribe, or I might suffer the fate of always wearing a hat. Not a fate I'd like to deal with. Either way, this is Magi and thanks again for watching.